All right, good morning, everybody. So what we're going to be talking about today are reviews and some of your most important review reputation management platforms. So this is the one that I use. It's called GatherUp by Traject Systems. It's a unique company where they actually sell a white label version of the product, which means it's kind of like if Zillow sold itself to you and you wanted to be first team Irvine Zillow and run the reviews. So a lot of these platforms are set up in the same fashion. So RateMyAgent has a relationship with CAR and NAR. Therefore, they give you a light version of the product for free. So RateMyAgent, and you can actually go, if you want to, go to RateMyAgent.com. Yes, sir.
Can you speak up a bit? They're moving furniture.
Yeah, you got it. You got it.
Thanks.
So RateMyAgent, you can go to RateMyAgent.com. This is a product that they have a partnership with NAR and CAR. And as a realtor, as being part of the board, you get some perks with your dues. So this is one of them. So you can go right now to RateMyAgent.com and set up your account. I'm not going to go through the process because what I want to do is explain the differences between the different platforms so you can make a decision as to what you want to spend your time on. And we're going to explain to you the differences and the advantages of one over the other. The other system that you'll hear a lot about is Testimonial Tree. Testimonial Tree is unique for a couple of different reasons. One, it drives the reviews that are part of your first team agent website that you get as being part of the company. Another unique proposition about it is you can actually hand enter in reviews. So as new agents, you could pull your reviews from your other industries if they're applicable and they're not too specific, and actually pull them into this for now, just so you do have some reviews. In addition, you can also hand enter them. So if you have recommendation letters, things like that, you can hand enter them into Testimonial Tree and they will show up as a Testimonial Tree review. Now, there are, let me think, a couple widgets that go along with this. Testimonial Tree also will allow your Zillow profile and your Zillow reviews to run alongside. They're separated, but they're shown at the same time. So if you go to your agent website and you have reviews on Zillow and Testimonial Tree, they'll be shown side by side. All of the platforms give you the opportunity to do a survey, and it's up to you to set them up. You can have a questionnaire, very, verbose, or you can be very short. Totally up to you. In your opinion, what is your feedback from when you do the surveys?
Yeah, there's only been a couple of agents that have done surveys,
Mhm.
and I know there's just been mixed feedback on that.
Yeah.
Because on the one hand, yeah, it's great, but it's like having people actually do it. They would rather have them go write a review than to ask the survey.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that's what it comes down to.
Okay. So, yes. Mhm. Okay.
They interview our client.
Yes.
Write the review, send it to them for approval. And that's nice and easy.
Oh, that's great. Not bad. Yeah, I mean, that way they're doing all the follow-up work and you just get the reviews.
The person that's personal or struggles.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. That's a very good suggestion. So if I had to pick any one of these, I'm going to like the product that I use, but that's not what this is about. What I want to show you is the confusing part about these platforms is a lot of them do the same thing. So it's like, well, which one do I pick? RateMyAgent doesn't cost you anything. It does give you the capability to create these, what I call social tiles, which takes your review, puts it in a background graphic, and has 5 stars. From here, you can share them to Facebook, to Twitter, LinkedIn. It's included. Now, if you want to do Instagram and your Google profile, which is probably one of the more important places to put it, they're going to charge you a membership. So unfortunately, that's the fun part of tech. We'll give you a little taste, but if you want to do the whole thing, you're going to have to pay to play. So their pricing is okay. And then also Testimonial Tree will allow you to do the same thing, but it doesn't have all the features, and the automation isn't there. So you have to manually collect each review and then post it. But again, Testimonial Tree does not cost you anything. RateMyAgent doesn't cost you anything unless you want to upgrade and use some of their more advanced features. Another difference is RateMyAgent is a network. So RateMyAgent is trying to be another Zillow, trying to be another Trulia. So they advertise to the public, they have ratings, they have a very arduous process of linking your reviews to your listings. So it's a good product, but you need to learn to use it and you need to be proficient with it. Otherwise, if you start selling a lot of properties, which isn't a bad thing, it's going to probably take you about an hour or 2 to get caught up, because you have to remember what property you sold, who you sold it to, when you sold it to, and which side you were on. So I know that sounds like not a big problem now, but once you get a few listings under your belt and a few transactions, you'll get inundated. This is, let me show you this. So this is my website. These are the testimonials. What Real Nurture does is it pulls all of your reviews from everywhere. So Yelp, Google, Zillow, there's apartments.com, there are Google, Facebook, Twitter, and it puts them all on one page. So this is a landing page. And here it shows all of the reviews. And then down here, they just click on a button to write a review for any one of these networks. Now I only have 4 here, and there's about, I think, 35 or 36 that are available. What I like about this is it's all automated, and it integrates in whatever website system you're using. And yes. Yes. Yes, so Testimonial Tree, when you walked in, we were talking about that. Testimonial Tree's already integrated in with your website. So if you go to First Place, there's a login for Testimonial Tree. So in there, you can go in and find the links for to get reviews from your clients. And in addition, there's a section there where you could put in your Zillow profile. That way it will show all of your Zillow reviews side by side with your reviews that are in Testimonial Tree.
So many, it'll take a second.
I know. So okay. I would love to manage testimonials. Yeah. Dun, dun, dun. There, it's gone. It's just a little slow. Hi. Oh, really? Thanks for letting me know. I think the internet issue has moved over. All right, so
Well, in general, testimonial tree does take a little time to load.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going to be an instant pop-up. For some reason, it does take a little time.
yeah, so with testimonial tree, you want to be patient because it does take a little while to churn and burn, especially when you have 287 testimonials. So I think all you guys know Nancy Iannici. She's 287 reviews so far. Yes.
I was just want to say it was a really great. I do 30.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's easy. It's really easy to use. Yeah. It makes it so easy. Mhm. Okay, so you want to go to the login, and then it'll go in there. Because you have to remember,
Remember, click my roadmap
okay.
first.
It's
Oh.
there's the gods of the computers are against Seema, because
Oh.
every time she tries to log in through first place, it kicks her out.
Oh, even, did you already click my roadmap?
Okay.
Yeah, click my roadmap first, and then, yeah, now go up and.
So when you're in, once you get in here, to add a testimonial, you're going to click here, add testimonial.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't know we just touched screen.
And this is where I was saying you can go in and hand enter the testimonial yourself.
And then just.
If there's a video, you could add it here. You just add the link. You could add pictures as well. And then obviously mark your reviews,
And sometimes
the
it
author,
takes
organization.
I've seen that too.
And then down here, these are all the different areas where these testimonials are going to show up. So the first one is going to be testimonial tree public directory. So that's within the whole system. And that also includes your first team website, cloud CMA. It'll show up there. And then realtor.com. Remember in the last session, I talked about go to realtor.com, set your profile. There's a section there where you can put in your profile. And in the same way that the Zillow profile will show along the side of your testimonial tree reviews, the same thing will happen in realtor.com, only they're called, they have a different name other than reviews.
It's like a recommendation.
Yeah, so they're under a recommendation section, which again, whatever reviews you have, you want to cross-populate them on every platform possible, because why not? Same reason you want to, reach them every other way.
He's just going through it. He's right. Oh, well, so we're logged into Nancy's account. Yeah, you can only log into your own account.
Okay. So that's testimonial tree. We'll go back to that, but let me show you RateMyAgent. The advantages of RateMyAgent are it actually has a bona fide network where they're advertising and people go and look for agents on it. So again, RateMyAgent is trying to be another Zillow, where testimonial tree is really just a tool that's designed for real estate agents. So you want to be on both. Again, they both do kind of similar things. Myself, I think I like the way that it allows its interaction with social media. I think is a little bit more straightforward and requires a lot less effort than doing so with testimonial tree. There are a number of video training and documentation for both. RateMyAgent probably has a little bit more. It's a little newer. But at the same time, RateMyAgent wants to upsell you to, I think their top plan is something like $5,000 a year. They give you some ad credit, but it's a pretty big investment. So with anything, get the most out of it. If you particularly like this one a lot, it may behoove you to invest in it at some point, but you don't have to. But definitely set up your profile on all of them, because every place where your profile is more of a chance of someone wanting to work with you. Because if you don't show up in the directory, then you just lost that shot. RateMyAgent also does a market report. But I think, in my opinion, you might agree, I think what First Team does is of above and beyond what they offer. Plus, we're able to be hyper local in our individual communities rather than just doing a broad brush of everything. I don't think the Google. Okay. I don't know, I'm not liking RateMyAgent anymore. Okay, so the last product I want to show you before I'll actually do some instruction is this is called Real Nurture GatherUp by Traject. Years ago, they called it 5 stars. It's a very powerful reputation platform that does more than just manages your reviews. It one of the nice features about it is, so Jackie is an agent here. She uses it. She has reviews all over the place. She has reviews on Facebook. She has them on Zillow. She has them on Realtor.com. She has them on Google. She has them a couple other places. This pulls all of them from everywhere. It monitors everything. And then she can go back and let's just say she wanted to share a review she did back in 2013. I can click here. Go, I'm gonna post this on all of these. I can change the background. If I have a picture of maybe myself and the client or the picture of the front of the house that they bought or I sold, I could put that there. I click publish and they're already done. This is called Real Nurture GatherUp. If you go to, you can go to my website or you can go to realnurture.com. It will give you some information on it. And it gives you, you can customize. It'll format it for whichever platform you're doing it. And you can mess with it. Maybe you want a larger font. It gives you a lot of custom, what is that a word? Custom. There you go. I was trying to say customizability. But the other thing that I think is cool is like, who was it that was you were using Testimonial Tree to get from clients. So what this will do is rather than just asking the client for a review just for Testimonial Tree, this will send one email and it gives the client the ability to put reviews on up to 7 different review sites. But instead of them having to sit there log in each site, they hit a button, post, hit another button, post, hit another button, post. So you'll get 7 reviews in one email. The other thing that it does is you can adjust this, but it will chase them around. So you could have them, call them, not call them, but text them, or you just have them send an email every 3 days until they respond to you. So you can adjust it because depending on how intrusive you want to be, because you don't want to be too pushy usually. Another thing that this is ties into, and this is a whole nother thing that you'll hear more about probably in the next 3 to 6 months, is Google Q&A. I've brought this up before, but Google Q&A is the customer has the ability to go to your Google page and ask you questions publicly. And by you responding to them, you create a conversation, which if you're actually talking about your industry or the area that you're in, it's going to be SEO friendly, which is going to draw more traffic to you and more traffic to you within your industry and your area that you're working in. So I think we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. To get that started, you could either work together or bring in family, friends to ask, real estate questions, and you could script them. Tell them what to ask, and then you respond, and that starts the whole thread. And again, I made this reference. It's kind of funny. It's kind of like Reddit, but without the weirdos, because you're focusing on pertinent questions that have to do with what people want to know about. So, how's the market? Where are interest rates at? What's the best place to move to? All of those questions that people are always talking about. And if you want to get little risky. You could even throw in some politics. Be careful with that, because that can, backfire. But again, not that you want to chase, keywords or current events, but if something is going on in the community, then talk about it, because it's only going to draw people that are searching for that towards you and your page, which then, as soon as you get them to your page, now you have the ability to generate a lead, or at least a connection with someone that you didn't know before. Who has their Google page set up already and it's ready to go? All right, so I'm going to show you something. What's your Google page name? I'm sorry? CWOL. AK? Okay. Damn it. Went too fast. Now the computer caught up. All right, we'll come back to that. It takes a couple minutes. What this is going to give us is a scorecard. So it's going to show, like, for instance, let me show you. Let's do this one. So it gives you a score in comparison to everybody else. So she's kind of active, but it shows 18 out of 30 businesses with less than 82 total reviews will earn 15% less in revenue than average. And this is across all industries, so it's not specific to real estate. So this is a really hard, what am I looking for? It's really high benchmark. So take this with a grain of salt. But it does put her in competitive group. So she's part of this office, and she's way above the office. And then five-star Zillows, average competitor 233. So she's in a unique proposition where she doesn't have a whole lot of competitors. Let's see if the other one came up. Not yet. Well, let's see how Debbie's doing here. So she has really good ratings, but not a lot of volume. And again, businesses with a 4 to 4.5 star earn 28% more in annual revenue than average. She has an average rating of 5. So she's within her group of people. So what I wanted to show you, I know these stats look small, but the agents are out doing the offices. So what does that tell you? If you focus on your reviews and have them posted across all your platforms, you're going to show up before your office does and other offices that you're competing with. All the more reason to get the reviews. And I know you guys are just getting started, but what was it Nancy got is probably put in at least 100 reviews in the last 3 months. Now, granted, she's probably had about 100 transactions, but while she was doing the transaction, she was also reaching out to her past clients to get those reviews. But with the caveat with everything, be careful, because if you're too good and you're getting too many reviews at the same time, as you can attest, it'll flag the system, and it's going to assume that you're being fraudulent and you're some sort of reputation management company trying to hide bad reviews. So when you're planning your stuff, I know you can't necessarily plan when people are going to respond to you, but don't go crazy and try to add 100 reviews in 2 weeks, because you will be getting in your own way. So just be, I would say if you wanted to, let's just say you wanted to shoot for 10 reviews a month, that's totally doable. That's a good rate to go. And you won't flag any of the systems. I guess we'll come back to that. So the GatherUp is a unique proposition. So if you just want to have the software, it's $100 a month. But there's no commitment. You don't have to sign up for a year. You don't, none of that stuff. If you want to work with someone to help you with the reviews, to manage the reviews, to set up your tiles where you can make the images of your reviews and post them, then that fee is $200 a month. But again, no, a total. So it's do it yourself is $100 a month. We'll do it with you. It's $200. And if you want to have someone manage it completely for you and be your go-to person, then it's $250. Some agents, that's a little bit much to do ongoing. So what they've done is they've hired us to come in for like 1-2 months, and we go in and pull all the reviews from everywhere. And then we save individual reviews, and then we set them in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter to automatically post. They're scheduled to post. So you could schedule your reviews for the next year to post like every other day. And that in itself is a real lead generator, because not only are you saying, hey, I'm a realtor, but look at my 5-star review. And it gives you the ability to promote yourself without coming off braggart or cocky. And it's really nice because if you're using the system, you can take a look at it and know exactly what reviews went out, what the responses were, and it gives you the opportunity to respond to them. And you could do it all through one platform rather than having to go log into Zillow and then log into Google and then log into Testimonial Tree, because it's time consuming. So it's a great product if you're too busy, you don't want to manage, you don't know how to manage it. And it's also a great tool if you just want to get started and pull your reviews from other sites and just kind of get a jump on everything. And let's see if that review ever came up. There it is. So you have the best numbers so far. So you got 7 out of 30 volume, but your rating is 29 out of 30. Your recency is 30/30 because you've had, a number, and sentiment 8 out of 10, really good. And you're between Keller Williams and Remax. And I look at CB, they're only 8. I look at Redfin, they're only 8. You would think Redfin would be at the top of their games, being that they're a technology company, but they're not. So this is great. Hey, Sam. Pretty good. Absolutely not. Well, guess what we're looking at? This is Jason's page. This is Jason's. So we're letting Jason know he's kicking some ass. He's got the best ratings of everybody. He's beating out Coldwell Banker. He's beating out The Office.
He loves this stuff. That's why.
Yeah, he's beating out Redfin.
Dan loves this stuff too.
Well, business just comes to you, Sam. You don't have to, do any of this stuff. They just go, Sam, I got 10 houses to sell. Where are my tickets? Hey, I'll be there. The group just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Oh, thank you.
That's when I jumped on Google, like hardcore, to kind of get my SEO up.
Yeah.
And just start following with this big over the past couple of years, really kind of building.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being, showing that it works. I mean, we know it works, but it's when, someone takes the ability, takes it and runs with it. It's awesome. So with that, I'm going to turn over to you, and can you kind of show them the bells and whistles of Testimonial Tree?
Totally. So I'm going to start by showing what I was just trying to do yesterday. Was how are you going to get the word out to people to even get that testimonial in the first place? So here, where it says testimonials, we're going to click on this part of the menu. And it says collect right here. So there are several ways that you can collect testimonials. One of them is you can just click right here and send it via email. And this, of course, is only collecting testimonials through Testimonial Tree. This is not how you would collect in on multiple platforms like Eric was showing you, which is really important to do, by the way. All right. So, and then you could send it via a text message. And were you the one who was saying that you texted? Okay, so you can do it that way. Also, you can send a request from your email. So you could highlight this link and send that out in your email. And you could even highlight this. Do you see how this is? This is a clickable link. So it's that same link up above, but it says click here to submit a testimonial. So what you could do is you could copy this text just like this and paste it into your email program. So if you're using Outlook or Mail or whatever you're using, you can have your first team signature that you get and then add this underneath it so that every time you send out an email, you're asking for another testimonial. So this is something that we just did. And also you could add, I like how it's redundant here. You could click here to submit a testimonial. It's that same link, or click here to review my testimonials. So you could copy both of these things here and then add those to your email signature. I would definitely recommend doing that as a first step. If you don't have anything like this in your signature, I would do that today. There's also a way to get a shortened URL here. And what's nice about these is it's always nice to share a shortened URL on social media. So I'm just going to go ahead and generate it. And as you can see, it's a short little tree.ly, and there's a link here. So now if I were to click on, I'm just going to, and this you would just copy and you could paste into a social media post and just like, hey, check out this review I got. If you can read more reviews over here when you're sending that out on social media. I'm gonna go ahead and just show you what that brings people to. You can see it's a shortened version for that. And so this is where people can then write that review. It automatically starts with 5-star. Isn't that nice? It's like, don't give me anything less than 5 stars. That's great. And so then it's an easy to fill out form. Let me come back here. I'm going to close this one. And then click here to view my testimonies. And this is where you could go and see the actual testimonials. And you can see what Eric was talking about when he mentioned that there is a way for the Zillow reviews to be pulled up on this side here. Now, I don't see it on, so here's a verified by Zillow here. Interesting. Haven't seen that yet, but usually it's over here. And I don't know if Nancy's is set up yet. But here you can see these are all her reviews on, and you could have that link in your email. And I would definitely do that. And if you don't have any reviews yet, just at least click here to submit a testimonial for sure. And that, guys, is all under here under collect a testimonial. Now, if you click on send via email, it's going to come up with a standard form, like a pop-up form. I like how it says, please make sure not to send out an email after 8 p.m. Really? You can send an email anytime you want. It's like, don't text after midnight, right? But come on, you can send an email anytime. That's so funny, guys. Isn't that hysterical? I don't know why that makes me laugh. Okay, end tour. Thanks, Testimonial Tree, for that helpful tip. So you can see how this is going to go, how it'll populate after you start filling it in. So it's kind of a nice, actually, this is a new little thing that they've added. And so you could say, John Smith, John at gmail.com, right? And it'll say, hello, John, and it'll fill it in automatically. And then it has this text that says, it would be fantastic if you would give a testimonial. It's very quick and easy. There's a total optional sharing step that you don't have to complete, but it would be very helpful if you would. You know what? There's a backslash in this. It's under the cut. We can request. We have to get that fixed. Do you see that?
Yeah. What is that?
I don't know, but it's in testimonial request number 5. We can come in here and fix it, I think. So, let's fix that. We don't want that backslash in there. Oh my gosh, that's too crazy. Okay, and you can definitely change it. If you don't want to use the word totally, you could use, make it your own lingo, right? And then you would, once that's done, you can just save this. I'm just going to go ahead and, I think you have to do it each time. Okay. Well, there you go. Copy and paste will become your friend on this if you utilize this. Now, one of the things, if you don't go the route that Eric was explaining, where you could on Real Nurture, where you could gather a whole bunch of reviews at once, what I would recommend is that you get your Google review link, your Zillow review link, and those other review links. And then when you send out an email, you can include this link as well, Yelp, whatever you're doing, and put all of those in an email. Write it specifically to that client. I would love to have her, you write a review. Here's all my links to all my review sites. I know it might be a few extra steps, but as you know, it's a digital world and we all need to have, we have to be in 100 places at once or whatever, however you want to word it. But, whereas Real Nurture would do that very easily, you can do it the long way. So that's why I would say you could use this collect form, but I feel like it's a lot more personal coming from you directly and using the link.
And in addition to, if you want to take advantage of opportunity when you're doing the closing paperwork, take your iPad with you, have this already set up, ready to go, and while they're waiting or what have you, you can get your review right then and there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
GatherUp and I think RateMyAgent and allows you to do that. It's called kiosk mode. But this, you would just log into this section of it, and then you could accomplish the same thing, just not on all the platforms at once. You have a question?
So say we do collect all of the leads.
Yes. Not that, so they have to log in because
Right.
So here's the real deal. So most people are going to have a Gmail account of some sort. Most people under 50 have some sort of Gmail account. So theoretically, it's already logged in on their computers. So when you send them a link for Google, they don't have to log in. So they're going to be happy, and then they're just going to do it.
Mhm.
Zillow, they have to go and create an account, and then
Right.
they have to log in, then they have to enter their password. So it's really hard to facilitate that with somebody, 5 or 6 times, because they're going to get frustrated and they're not going to want to do it anymore.
Mhm.
So you don't want to inundate them. So if you can't use a product that does it for you, then maybe I would just focus on Google and Zillow, because those are the 2 biggest names that people are going to value the reviews from. If they're saving properties, if they're a serious buyer, then they have a Zillow account. The ones that may not would be the sellers, because they're either not into that or
Mhm.
but any buyer is going to have a Zillow account most, because that's the only way they're going to be able to save their property. So with buyers, you're pretty good in that sense.
Mhm. Yeah, I concur. So anyway, this is the section where you can just, as you can see, collect different ways. Now, as Eric mentioned, there is a way to manually add a testimonial. So let's say somebody sent you a text and said, you can just use that for my testimonial. Don't bother me having to fill in something, right? So you can do that, or a letter, or any other way that they've sent a thank you note or whatever. You can go in here, copy paste or type in this testimonial, and And then you can give yourself 5 stars, of course. And then write the name of the person or just their first name, last initial, whatever you want to do it. And then the date and time. And then that'll pub.
And you don't need an email. So that's the biggest thing with this.
Right. Yeah, correct. Yeah. Yeah.
If you want to fake it till you make it, this will allow you to do so. But don't go crazy because these reviews are going to look different from the other reviews. And I can tell you that from personal experience because I have a few reviews in Testimonial Tree that I need to go in there and take them out because they don't look like everybody else's.
Yeah. And in fact, you could just write one. If you don't have any reviews, just write a review, John provides great customer service and listened to all my questions and took me to all kinds of properties, whatever. I mean, just, you can write yourself one review just to, prime the pump, get it going. So, or just a family member. Maybe you've helped a family member go property hunting already, right? Actually, you could have that family member say, we went and looked at a lot of properties and I really appreciated, John's knowledge on all of the properties that we went to see and the air and how they really know the area really well. That's such a great, and specifically, here's the keywords that you want to coach people to say. You want them to, the words buying, selling, real estate, your local farm name, all the city name. So you want to have all of those words get into your review. You're not always going to, people say, well, I don't know what to say. Well, then you can tell them. You can say, these are the things that would mean the most to me, specifically what I helped you with.
And you'll run into people that'll just say, I don't care, just write it. And take that as an opportunity to promote yourself.
Yeah.
Also, if you're selling or buying with a couple or an extended family, each one of them can write you a review for the same transaction. I've seen 4 reviews on the same transaction. So it doesn't show first, last name and email. So it's not like.
No, right. Yeah, you can. And the adult children, get them to write a review too, right? Yeah, we love visiting our parents at their new house, whatever,
But,
Yeah.
talk to any agent. Once you have, maybe 20, 30 reviews under your belt, now you have a bona fide reputation. Now you're not a new agent anymore, even though you may still be.
Okay. Sure.
Collecting the testimonial, especially with the link. So like on the section there, there is one that's just like click here for submitting. Do we use that link or do we use this short URL generator?
I would use the words because people aren't going to look at that short thing and say, I know exactly what to do with that. But if you say, click here to submit a testimonial. So what is actually here? It's still loading the page. So I don't know if you can see in the bottom corner, but it's really hard to see, but there's a link. I mean, and you don't want to just put that link, and it's the same link as above here. So this is your unique, you have a unique ID with Testimonial Tree. And yeah, I mean, you could paste that, but I think when you have click here and then it takes them to that, and you could just literally copy and paste this and it will paste that link.
Oh, really? So you just copy and paste these words and put in your email signature?
Yes.
That link will just be there.
It will automatically be there.
And some agents
Yeah.
will do that. They'll put it in their signature, click here to submit a review.
Yeah.
Another thing that is visually nice is if you make like an image of, I would love to review, even if it's, link that image to that link. And just tell them click on the photo to submit a link to me. And they're going to be more trustworthy than that because when anybody sees a short link, they think you're trying to hack them.
Right. Yeah. And also you can get like a little image that has 5 gold stars. Put that at the bottom of your email and make that the link, So, you're just getting them thinking about 5 gold stars because that's what you really want. So I also want to take, so this is like the collection part, right? Getting all of these testimonials. I want to show you where to get the code to link realtor.com and Testimonial Tree. So if you haven't had time to fill out your realtor.com profile, I strongly recommend that you do. You don't pay for it, and it just needs your profile photo, your bio. You can put tons of links on there to your socials website. and all that. And then this other really important piece of information, which is the this code. So when you go into your testimonial tree, you'll see on the upper right-hand corner, there's a profile picture. If it's not there, if it's broken, I've seen it broken in several agents' testimonial trees, don't worry about that. But up in here, you'll click account in the upper right-hand corner. And under account, you'll see this thing called connect accounts. Now, this is a really long code. I'm just gonna scroll through it and you'll just see, well, it's not allowing me to do it. So I'm just gonna, you can just copy it. So you can see this super long text, right? So that's copied. And then in realtor.com, I don't have her realtor.com actually. So it's like, there's a way, I could log into somebody else's realtor.com though, just to show you where this goes, because I think this is important for you to know how they connect.
And I think there might be a link to this on first place. So
Oh, is there? Okay. Okay, yeah. I just had my phone here. Oh, here we go. Because I gotta log, I gotta do a login here. Now, I think this is important because this is all like, you don't have to pay an extra dollar for this. This is all included with what you already have.
And then realtor.com is one of the few apps that actually advertises on television. They had Elizabeth Banks was their spokesperson, I think last year or the year before. So of all the apps, realtor.com is maybe like 4 or 5, but there's still millions of viewers on it. So, and it's also another platform that's supported by NAR in the car. So it has a very high trustworthy.
Right. Yeah. So when you go to log in on this, a mistake that I often see is people log in right here. And that is for the consumer. So you want to log in down here. Are you a real estate agent? This is where you want to log in down here at the bottom.
It's a different domain.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a completely different thing. And you might want to bookmark it. I mean, actually utilizing your bookmarks and with what you're doing anyway with real estate is really important because you end up having so many different sites that you're going to and managing. Well, maybe I'll have to come back to this. I don't know why that would be unresponsive. I'm going to close that down. I'll come back to this in a second. I'm going to close that. It's just important to remember where you get this code in the first place. If I'm able to show it, great. If not, I'll revisit this another week because it's really not working great. Or we'll find the loop or is there a training thing on this in the loop?
It's buried. It's like 3 years ago, but it
Okay.
Going into,
Yeah.
It's in the testimonial tree.
It's in the, okay. Well, I can describe it. So when you've logged in on your profile, there's a rate review section. So ratings and recommendations in there, that is where you'll put this link. Okay. I just, yeah, can't get there now. Okay. So once you get the reviews, you can share, like Eric mentioned, you can create these social tiles. So I'm going to go over to the actual testimonials. I think there's a couple ways to do it. And again, I think I'm going to wait a second, but okay. So I'm going to scroll down here. So like here's a review from the 3rd of June. Okay, so you can actually share this testimonial. And you can create, and you can click on the social media icons below. So we can do a Facebook example. And then launch the image generator. So so when you launch that image generator, it's going to give you the capability to do some changes at the look of it. So like the layout, you could have it be like this instead of, oh golly, Everybody's just so, I feel like if I click one more thing, it's just going to get get upset. Okay, so so you can change the font description, all of these things that you can change, right? And then you can once it's done, let's just say I'm happy with it, then I will go to share it. Oh, well, I did choose Facebook, but it wasn't believing me. Oh, wow. We're just having such, I don't know. The days when, all right, it still just doesn't want to accept this as a, from the shared application. I wonder what if there's just like a,
Network issue.
yeah. Anyway, so click Facebook, you share, you can change the image. I think there's also the capability to download it, but I don't see it here when I was doing the pop-up, but there is a way to do that. And then a LinkedIn version as well. So in addition, if you don't like any of these layouts, you can create it in Canva. If you're a Canva user, you can take the same text, make it pretty in Canva, customize it to the different social media platforms and roll it out that way. It's one of those things you're just like, this is crazy. I'm just going to go ahead and exit this because I feel like it's trying to do too many things. Oh, wow. Any questions? Oh, you're on there right now. Okay, yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, so I'm walking around with this hurricane microphone.
This is where you do it.
I'll hand this back to you. And I'll just
All right. Works.
So up in here. And then you copy that, right? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, you've got it copied. Yeah. And then on your profile here, so go to ratings and reviews. And then down. And connect testimonial. And then your post back. Identify. Day or so before it, fully connect. Anybody else have a question about that? You did it? Okay, great. Yeah.
So basically, this is just testimonial. Yeah,
Right.
well, my testimonial is not opening somehow.
Sure, yeah. So go into first place. And then did you do my roadmap first?
Oh, go from there.
Yeah, start on my roadmap. Be sure that you that real fast. Just type in road and then that's road. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna stop the recording now just because the internet is hanging up